Expressions Vinyl, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can apply adhesive vinyl onto a mug. So one of the common questions that comes up is what type of vinyl is best for applying it onto your mug. So if you're familiar, we have removable vinyl, which is Series 31 and Oracal 631, and then we also have Series 51 as well as Oracal 651. So mainly the big difference between one and the other is one has a shiny glossy finish and the other one has more of a matte finish. And the one with the matte finish is the removable vinyl, and the one with the glossy shiny finish is the permanent vinyl. So you'd always want to make sure to stick with the glossy finish, such as Series 51 or Oracal 651, just because it is permanent and it tends to adhere better on to, say, a mug. So next I'm going to talk about the different types of mugs that you could apply adhesive vinyl on, and there's quite a bit you can play around with just because it is adhesive. So looking at these examples, I have different kinds. So this one already came printed with the black and gold pattern, and then I just added the hearts with the red ultra glitter vinyl. And this one is just a very simple standard mug where it's the same size from the top and bottom. And then we have this mug. This one is a little bit tricky. I would just be cautious just because it narrows down in the bottom. So if you look at this image, it's a lot bigger, so it started wrinkling, it started crumbling, and it didn't really quite work for this image. But in general, I would be cautious with circles and images that are just no spaces in between, because it makes it a lot harder to manipulate and move the vinyl so it adheres into a nice, clean, smooth surface. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about the application, and there's more than one way that you can apply adhesive vinyl, so I'm just going to show you two simple ways that I found are easy. And one of the first steps is to clean your mug, just because our hands have a lot of oil. You don't know if there's any dirt or any type of stuff floating in the air, and so you just want to make sure to clean it, and we recommend with rubbing alcohol. So just spray a little bit, wipe down wherever you're going to place your vinyl, and then just let it dry just to make sure that it's not wet. And I have my image right here. It's just a simple when in doubt travel little image that I got from the Silhouette store. And I did one of two things. The first one, depending on what image I have, I like to trim it as much as I can around the image or the words to allow a little bit more flexibility when applying the vinyl. But you can also do it with just trimming the sides as close to the image and applying it in what you may know as a hinge method. So I'll show you how I apply both. I'll start with this one. I just use paper transfer tape. You can use clear or gritted tape. It just comes down to personal preference. And I just cut strips of transfer tape, and it's going to help align and keep my image. So I just place some tape on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to start from one side. You can go either left or right, where I just remove the backing paper. And you can just tear it just to get a little bit off. And then you just start pressing that down. And you can use your finger, but you could also use your application tool to rub that down. And once you have a little piece of that on, you can go ahead and start removing the rest. So you can remove the other side, so you don't really need this anymore, to where it just easily comes off. So then just remove the rest of the backing paper, and then you can go along with your application tool and rub down the rest. And then just remove the transfer tape. So with this second method, I cut this out with my Silhouette, and I just use my scissors and just cut around as close to the letters and the image. You can start top or bottom. I'm going to start with the bottom and just take off a little bit of the backing paper. And on this part, I just rubbed down the middle and then went from one side to the other side. So it's loosely up for a second. And then I will do the same with the top. So I'm going to rub down the middle and then go from one side to the other side. So that just helps in case one part is acting a little funny compared to the other side, so it won't ruin your entire image, so you can easily move that. And then you're just going to remove the transfer tape. And there you go, just two different methods on how you can apply adhesive vinyl to a mug. So the next step, once you have your vinyl on, is a very important step that a lot of us don't remember to do, and it's called curing. So if you're not familiar with curing, it just means letting your vinyl sit onto your object for a good 24 to 48 hours. I prefer to do it a little bit longer, just for a couple days, just to make sure that the adhesive vinyl fully sticks onto the mug. And that will really make or break whether or not your vinyl comes up or comes off during washing. So if you have any questions, make sure to send a comment below. If you have any friends who are also interested in applying vinyl to a mug, make sure to share that with them. And we will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.